So welcome to today's class, and today we are going to discuss about MySQL Spring Boot with MySQL DB integration. So first class we did, if you see here, first class we did sample MVC application. The second class we did static DB. So step by step we are coming and increasing. And third class we did H2 database. And now fourth class we are doing MySQL DB integration with the card operations. And also yesterday our helper our one of our friend is asked, so how can we transform data from front end data over to the back end entity? How can we mapping, right? So that is also we added here in this class along with this implementation. So here, so same, all four kind of operations we will do, but the integration of MySQL DB, how we can configure MySQL DB, and we will see. So but for this you need to install MySQL database in your system. So the default port number of MySQL database is 3036. Okay, 3036 or 3336. So let me share my screen. Let me open the properties. So 3306 or 3036. Yeah, 3306. Okay, so MySQL database, you are able to see my screen, right? So these are the properties of MySQL database. So here the JDBC colon MySQL colon localhost 3306 group GDB. So let me add group H. Group H, I am adding a group H database. Our database. I will create a schema. Okay. So username and password is root and root. Why? So whenever you are installing MySQL database, the default username it will take root, and password if you want you can give, you can change. So the default I given root and root. So yes, yesterday we discussed about this statement. We have previous classes also. So this is the DDL auto. Whenever you are running an application, automatically it will create. So before running or before explaining remaining classes, so let me show the MySQL database also. So whenever we are a MySQL database, it will Workbench also. Workbench is nothing but the database user interface. It is opening. Give me 1 second. Yeah, it is opening. So let me share. So okay. So like this, it will appears. So like so these three databases are coming. Okay, the default, right? The system database is coming. The tables are looks like okay. So it will give all kind of databases, the default. So you can create your own database by right clicking here. It will show you create a schema. Okay, create schema is nothing but one database. So here you can give whatever you are giving a here group H, right? The schema you can give here. Just after giving, I'm applying here. I'm applying here. So which means we are creating a database. So it is applying create schema. So group H, it is creating. So finish. So if you see here, group H will be appear here. So it is there. So now if you see here, this is the group C, sorry, group H. So this is the group H. So tables are empty. So as of now, tables are empty. So we can create the tables manually here, or we can create a table through from our application, right? So okay, that is okay. So coming back here, if you see here, so before coming here, pom.xml, I'm opening a pom.xml. So what are the required things we need? So let me, okay, pom.xml here. So let me increase the font size. Edit 15 is there. Okay. Okay, it is coming up fine. Form.xml. So here, if you want to connect a MySQL database, you need a MySQL connector. So why? Because each and every database is a separate vendor, so that they are having their own driver classes to connect our database. So here we are previously we have a H2 database related dependency. Now we have a MySQL connector to connect MySQL database. So this is the one of the SQL database. Okay. So as we know, this is the open API. This will provide user interface as well as the documentation for our RESTful application. So this is the web server. If you want to do any web application RESTful services, we need a web dependency. It is coming in a embedded server. So data JPA, Spring Data we are using, and Java Persistence API JPA we are using to save our to do all the database transactions. Okay, so here nothing is added any extra dependency here. So coming to here, so all the packages, you can see the packages here, right side, left side of our application. So one is the application package, and second one is the controller, and third one is the DTO. Why I'm creating a DTO? So here employee DTO I am creating here. So ID, first name, last name, department, email, and address. So this is nothing but an input request. Okay, so input request is different and output is different. So I created a one DTO for request and response. If you want, you can create separately, no issue. But how we are transforming this DTO to the entity? So that is what our doubt, right? So we need to create a entity object, and we need to take this ID and first name and last name, and we can set these values to the entities. Meanwhile, the same way, whenever we are getting a response from the database, so from the entity response to this DTO response, we need to transform, right? We need to do the transform. So if you want to send some of the fields instead of all the fields, you can set required fields only. So like that, we can put all these things, and for that purpose, we used to maintain a DTOs. Okay, so entities. So entities are nothing but this is a database model class, and where that the database columns and our Java model class will be mapped via columns, and table, it will give the table name. Okay, so entity, so it is a JPA property we need to use as an entity. Okay, to for all the transactions it will support. Okay, so coming to service class. So service class. So this is the service class. So by seeing this employee service, we will do 4 kind of operations. One is the create employee, one is the get employee, update employee, and delete employee. Okay, so get employee, I can return employee DTO, but only one API I did. Employee DTO I am passing, and instead of employee here, I need to return employee DTO here. So right, so we should not return a employee employee entity here. So that we will do dynamically. So first of all, we will check here. So create employee. I am passing as a request as a employee DTO. So I am going to the implementation here. So of course, we need employee repository to save our employee entity, and helper. So here is the transform method is there. Transform method or helper. We can put it as a this is the package, transform package or helper. So here we have an employee transformer or employee helper. So here I have a prepare employee data or prepare employee data, or whatever we the convenient name we can add here as a method. So prepare employee data, it will get an employee entity. Why? Because we need employee entity to save our data, right? So as the from the front end, we are coming as a DTO. Now I am creating as employee DTO, employee entity here. So employee emp dot set ID, DTO dot set ID. So like that, I can write. So created a new employee, right? Set ID. So DTO dot get ID. So like that, we need to get all the properties and we need to set here. So like that we can write, right? So instead of writing each and every field, the bean utils is there, copy properties. Whenever you are having a same kind of fields. So our in a Spring is providing bean utils is a utility class. So we can use utility methods, right? So you need to set and get from the source and target objects automatically. If you need to give here, so this is the source object and this is the target object. Okay, the source object is nothing but input object. The target is object is nothing but output object, right? Our database model or database entity. So I pass a source and target objects, automatically it will copy. but it will not return anything. So whenever it is copying, right, automatically the empty employee, it will be updated by the values. We will see while debugging. I will show you. So right, we can return the employee. So initially it is an empty. After this line, it will be having all the values from the DTO using these bean utils. Okay, bean utils. The same way, the response also we can do same thing. We can pass a source object as an employee entity. We can pass target object as an employee DTO as part of get employee method. This is the create employee, right? So create employee DTO is an input and entity is an output. Why? Because we are saving it entity as an output. Fine. So this is what I did. So here, so helper, from the helper I'm getting an employee entity. So now my employee entity is ready to save the employee. The same way, get employee. So get employee we can write, right? So once we have this, right? So the same way we can add method here. So public, so prepare employee response. You can employee response. So instead of here, you can create a DTO, right? DTO object you can create here, but instead of employee, right, entity you need to pass here. So this is the our target object, and this is the our source object. You can return employee DTO here. You can return same, right? So we will see whether we are able to passing or not. We will see. So we can call this and we will see. So employee DTO, right? So let me call here. Employee we are passing, just we will check whether we are able to get the values or not. So later we can return. So okay, fine. So let me, and I'm opening a controller. So controller, you know, so this is the create employee. The request body I am passing as a DTO. Here I'm getting an employee. So get employee, I'm having by passing an ID, we are getting an employee. But I will change later. I will change update employee and delete employee. So all these operations we know we did as part of previous application. But here one more class is there. So application class is there. So this is also we know API, open API definitions, then title and snapshot and version description all be given as part of our documentation. This is the Spring Boot main class and data store setup. So whatever we are having as a properties of database, okay. So these things you need to configure through programmatically. So otherwise we can configure from the properties file, but better to configure in a programmatic way. Okay. So this is the configuration. This is the enable JPA repositories. So in a configuration I given instead of in our application class, and the components can anywhere we can given we can give the same right. So the same class. So entity scan, right? So here the data setup. So whatever we have a keys of our application.property file. So this is the key, right? So this is the key we are getting here. So previously how we are getting a keys from the properties file? We need a properties class and properties prop equals to new properties class prop dot get key. We are passing and we are getting a value. But nowadays you don't need to use those kind of property classes. So at the rate value annotation is from the Spring Boot is there. So whenever you are passing a key, right, automatically it will use internally properties class only, and it will give it will return the key value. So the data type of key value, of course, obviously string it will be there, and whether it is a string and whether it is an int. So you need to define a string, and you can define your variable. So automatically this value comes and sit here. So it will be replaced here. It will be added here, or it will be set here. Okay. So that is what Spring will do. It will take care of that. So like that we are loading all the keys with respective variables or respective values. Okay. It is a data source URL. It is a database URL. It is a database data source username. it is a database username. This is the database password. This is the database password. That's fine. So data source object. So here it is. You can see the data source object, SQL data source. So, and we are having a driver manager data source class. This is the Spring related, JDBC Spring related. Okay. So we are using internally JDBC and SQL only. But even though we are using data, Spring data, it will use internally whatever the required classes. Okay. So data source object, which will take care of the default connection pooling mechanism. If you want to increase, we can implement a Hickory connection pool mechanism. But here we no need to use any connection pooling mechanism. The default database, the 15 or 10, the default data connection pool, it will take care by the driver manager data source object. Okay. So this data source object, we are setting a database URL, database user, and database password. So it will automatically connect our database. Okay. So coming to here, what is our database name? Group H. So Group H database is ready. So here the Group H database is ready, but empty tables. So we will see when we are running our application, due to this statement, automatically the tables are created. Fine. So controller we have. So data store setup is also done. Okay. The configuration. So this is the configuration kind of class, right? So we need to add @configuration. So let me run in a debug mode, and we will debug and we will see how the things are happens. So let me put the, okay, I'm putting in a create employee, I'm putting a debug here. So application is started. If you see here, application is started using 2023 as a port number. So if you coming here, you can open our Swagger. So employee project and employee controller. So here we have all four kind of our APIs as well as schemas. Schemas are nothing but our database, our models of our class, of our project. So this is an employee model. We have these fields, and this is the DTO model. This is as some variables and variables, right? Or fields. So now I'm trying out a post method. So ID I'm giving as an 100. So it is a long, right? So I'm giving as an 100. The first name I'm adding as a Veer, and second name I'm adding as a Kakarla, and department I'm adding as a Java, and email. So veer@gmail.com, and address. So Hyderabad, India. So just I want to check whether our input DTO is copying to the entity or not. Okay, entity or not. So this is what our motto. So along with our SQL database. Okay. So here you can see all the values are coming in a employee DTO. Okay, employee DTO. Okay, employee DTO. If you see here, why it is showing as a, still it is an employee. Okay, slash employee. So employee DTO. Okay, fine. So request about employee DTO, right? So okay. So employee DTO, we are getting the values. Okay. So coming to here, I'm resuming this. So now our DTO is having all the values. Okay. So DTO is having all the values, and we need to come here. So let's see here. So now the DTO is having the values. After this statement, employee is having only null values only. We see here, all the values are 0. The default values are here there. So first is the long, and the remaining all are string. The default values are stored. So after this statement, the DTO objects, the DTO values will be copied to the employee. This is the source object, and this is the target object, right? Now you can check the employee. See, all the values are added here. So it should become as a DTO, but why it is coming an employee? We can see this DTO. So I think it is a, see here we are adding as a employee, right? So that is the reason only it is coming as an employee instead of employee DTO. That's fine, no issue. So here employee entity is ready. So now the entity is ready. So after entity, if the entity is ready, automatically our save value will be happens, right? So fine. So it is done, and if you see here, successfully saved. So if you see here, so the tables are not created previously, right? So you can refresh, refresh all. So tables is coming, table is coming, employee. So you can select rows, right? So one record is added, So last time I said, if you give in the same object, if you want to save the same object again, so database Spring data will check whether this employee object is there. It will not create anything. Instead of that, it will update. If it is not there, then only it will create whether the save object or whether it is a put operation, or whether it is save operation, post operation, right? So that we need to check. That we can check again here. So just I'm clicking again here. So I'm coming here. So I'm resuming here. So it will come here with the values. So employee is empty is now it is an empty. Now it is having values, right? So the same object we are passing, same 100. So we will check. We will see. So it will show the as expected, successfully saved. But here you can run the same thing. So it will not save any data here. So instead of that, it is overriding the values, or it is updating, or it is ignoring. Okay, it is updating by default. It will update, override the values, right? So coming to the second operation, get employee, right? So we are checking the get employee, how we can copy the values, right? So 100 I am passing here. So let me put this is the get employee, right? Okay. So here I'm getting a ID as in 100, So I am passing here. Coming here. Oh, it is coming here. Okay. So let me, why it is not taking? So let me remove this. I think we need to. Now it will. Okay, it is the duplicate method. Okay, fine. So that might be the reason we are getting. Okay. That's right. No issue. So we will check whether it is copying or not. So let me run the application again. So let me run the application again. So oh, this time we will not having the data. So again we need to add data. No issue. I can add. So execute. So we can save. So it is transforming, right? It is saving. So in the get operation we are checking. So let me add the get operation. So get operation we are coming here. So here it is coming here. So if you see here, the same data is there. And coming to here. So sorry, coming to here. So I'm coming to the next level. So oh, okay. So here we have a entity. So here we have a employee entity, and we have all the values here. So all the values here, right? So whenever we are having a values here, so we are passing here, and just I want to check whether we are getting a values or not. So if you see here, the initial values are empty DTO. Okay. So after that, obviously DTO will have the values. So the same way we can return, right? So all the values are DTO is printed here. Employee DTO values are printed here, but we added as a employee entity as a response here in our controller. So that is the reason employee entity is coming here. So both the values are there, right? So likewise, we can use the transformer class, transformer method, or utility method, or utility package. So basically we can call it as a transform package. So where we can have employee transformer, different transformation classes or different helper classes. We can call it as an helper classes or transformer classes. So where we can copy the output response to the response DTO or input request to the employee entity. So like that we can do the things. So this is the one of the best practice. We need to do like this only. Instead of using, we should not use an entity in a controller layer. So we should not come with the database models to the controller layer. We need to validate all the values in a service layer. So service layer is the layer where we can write our business logic. So what is the data we need to send as a response, and what is the data we need to send as a we need to take from the request, and we need to send or we need to prepare the database model here. So like that we need to validate we need to transform all the data in a service layer only. So this is what where we can write a business logic. Okay, so I think you are understanding well, and let me do the remaining two operations. So update operation. So update operation also we know. So let me take this values. Okay. So remaining all are same, but each and every class we are learning one by one integration. How we can do the integration of MySQL database, and how we can do the integration of MongoDB, and how we can do the integration of SQL database. So it's the same thing we are doing. So successfully saved. So let me get the values to check whether it is updated or not. So yes, the values are updated. Okay, so let me check the delete operation. So delete operation I'm doing now. Try out, and 100. I'm giving an 100. So here we are passing. I am passing as an 204, no content. Okay, so it is as giving an empty. So let me execute. So the data record was deleted. So instead of sending, so I'm passing as a no content. Okay, so that is the reason it will give the no content. It is giving as a no content. So okay, fine. So like that we can do all four kind of operations. So do you have any doubts here?
No, you're. Thank you.
Okay. So tomorrow we will do the all these same kind of four operations using MongoDB. So that is called my NoSQL database. So we will meet tomorrow's class, and using MongoDB we will do all these four kind of operations, and we can see how can we create a user for MongoDB, and how can we configure a MongoDB, and how can we do all the CRUD operations using MongoDB. We will see. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, thanks for your time. Thank you. I will send all these things in 30 minutes. Okay.